Alright, Steve Groves Pumpkins 2026 GPC Jacket Chase is on episode number 5. Still not on the ground yet. That is intentional. Got things ready over here pretty much. Soil temperatures are still a little bit low. I was right at 60 degrees today. I put thermostats in the ground and turned on heating cables. I gained 8 degrees in one day, and it's kind of leveled out. Had a few sub-freezing nights, set me back a little bit on gaining temperatures. So I'm gonna take a look at things and look at a few gadgets, and almost ready to go. All right. EcoWit WH51L, and this is the same as the EcoWit WH51, but the WH51 is designed for surface down to 2 inches, I think, and I can bury this. And I currently haven't buried at 12. This is 2 inches long, so I'm getting a reading from 12 to 14 inches. And I had to order another one. I have them in houses 1, 2, and 3. Misplaced my 4th one, and this came today. I'm going to install it here in house number 4. So I get the readings for this right off my phone, and I did buy the Wi-Fi hub last year that goes to these. There's a little tiny thing about this big, plugs into the wall. But this year I got me a EcoWit Witboy 7-in-1 weather station. It's right there, collecting lots of data on the patch. And conveniently enough, these connect directly to that, so I didn't need to use the Wi-Fi hub, and got all my information in one app. On my post hole diggers is 12 inches, so I dug to the top of the barrel to get me down 12 inches, and then insert that into the ground below that. So I'm reading between 12 and 14 inches. Now I'd intended on inserting PVC pipe into the hole and just running all this out, but the directions said that it had to be completely submerged and buried. So that's exactly what I did. Put it on a stake right next to it, and the kit came with lots of fancy stuff to screw it in and a clamp and all of that. I just use zip ties. And you see right there, 49% is what I'm working with, 48% it says now. And the hole is about 4 feet away from where my main vine will live, right around in that area, about 3 or 4 feet from the crown. And then a little Folgers hat for it to wear so that the sun depletes the Folgers hat and not my monitor. Now, I'm never going to look at these. I'm going to read all my information straight off the app. All right, all the grow huts are identical. So we're on grow hut number 2 right now. Yeah, number 2 on my Govee right down there. Got my plant hole dug. I'm probably going to dig a little bit more around that. Fabric laid out for it to go on. And I wanted to pull the fabric all the way back to here, but it was just being a pain. And between all the stuff I had in here, I didn't want to damage stuff, so I just started right there. So plant will grow out and lay on the fabric and take off down that way. Moisture meter over there, same setup as I just showed you. And then here we got a fan on a cooling thermostat right up here, set to 80 degrees, and that's to give it some relief when it gets hot in here. And then this is running my heating cables. It's set on 72, and you can see I got 73 degrees right now. So I'm about ready to plant. I'll probably be shooting to plant tomorrow or the day after that, depending on how work goes. I've got to bury this back in. I ran into some issues with the wind, beating these things up and tearing off the tie downs that hold them from the wind. So I had to make some modifications, and then heat lamps. And these are also connected directly to this. So at 72 degrees, the heat lamps come on, and the heat lamps don't do much for heating the space. They do very little, but they do a little bit, and basically tells me from the house. I can look out here and see the red lights on, and I know my heating cables are doing some work. 4,000 feet, almost 4,000 feet of drip tape, laid in each plant. I wanted to go with drip tape this year to keep from, I've been an overhead water guy ever since I started. I had a bad experience with drip tape one time, and I feel like maybe I just didn't buy the right stuff or use it properly. Bought this from a dealer that specializes in drip tape irrigation down in Forest, Virginia. So on this side over here, I just folded them up a couple times, folded them into themselves and then folded them over and then back over one more time and zip tied them all to my cattle panels. And my wind fence will go up on here. These end stops that came with the kits, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to use those, but then after I used them, I actually liked them. So end stops on this set and the set over there and the set up there, and they're all zip tied to the fence to hold them in place, and it's doing a really good job. This one up here got kind of squirrely a little bit. I had to relay some lines, get them put back straight, because they weren't super tight. And these aren't super tight either. They're just tight enough to keep them straight. But those up there were not, and I had to go through there and reposition and stuff. Missing a lot of space down here. I'll come back later in the season and add some more rows. I switched up my entrance to the dead center this year. Last year it was down there and I had to climb over plants. And yeah, I had walk boards, but the leaves got so big and the canopy so big, I was having to move stuff out of the way every single time I wanted to come in. This area right here is going to be squeaky clean. Going to be squeaky clean down the middle that way, so I'll put my entrance right here in the middle, and I'm really happy about this. The other thing is, when it comes time to harvest in the fall, these are all put on with zip ties. I just clip the zip ties off and move the cattle panels out of the way, pull the T-post out of the ground, go in and get the fruit, come back out and throw all that back in the ground. And usually at that point it doesn't go back in the ground as nice as it is now. I just get it to where the animals stay out of it. And we're a long ways from that though, so walk boards here. I got a bunch of walk boards in there already. Some staged ready to go. I took all my walk boards, they were all sitting over here, and gave them a little bleach bath. And by bleach bath, I mean 1 part bleach, 10 parts water. Sprayed them down and let them sunbathe for a little bit, get them cleaned up. I don't really know what else to talk about. Plants in the house, itching to get put out here. I got a couple more things to do out here to get these grow tents locked down and ready to grow in. I'm trying to get planted in 2 days from now, and I'm on track, a little bit behind where I originally wanted to be, but I still just fine on the overall schedule. So keep on following along. Come back next week and see plants in the ground on the 2026 GPC Jacket Chase.